Well, good afternoon, everybody. DIYDave here once again with another project for you to consider. We are going to build and install this Harbor Freight 48-inch by 60-inch workbench. Now, this table, as I said, it's available at any Harbor Freight. They advertise it right now for 99 bucks. You can get a 20% off coupon, get it for about 80. Now, this is not it's not even sold as some big heavy-duty table, but the things that are intriguing to me, it's 48 inches long, it's got a little fluorescent light at the top, it's got a bottom shelf, a middle shelf, you can put stuff on top, and it's got a 3-outlet plug on the back. And that is exactly what I need. I think that will help me a lot, just for a place to put some stuff without piling it on top of my workbench. So, with that all set up, we're going to go ahead and cut this puppy open, and I'll try to give you as much as I can of a real-time assessment of building this thing. So let's get started. Okay, 1 strap cut, 2 straps cut, 3 straps cut, 4 straps cut. Okay, there are the pieces. Here are some instructions which we will probably follow. Here is the power strip that will go on the side, right here. Let's see if we can organize these pieces. Also try to give you an idea of how long this takes. We started about it's about 3 o'clock, maybe 3:30. One thing I will point out that I do like, this table has little roller bar slides and nice extensions. They're made of metal, so that's good. Probably some construction hardware here. Oh yeah, all kinds of nuts and bolts. Nuts and bolts and fasteners of all varieties and kinds and types. Alright. More construction stuff. Alrighty. First thing we want to do is we're going to take the four vertical rails and attach the stretchers that go across the bottom. Okay, so that looks like these 2 pieces and these 2 pieces. Okay, looks like step 1 is to take these 2 tall vertical pieces and these 2 shorter vertical pieces and put some bottom stays in them. There's that. There's that. Okay. Now to get a little bit better perspective on what we're doing, now that we got the feet installed, these, according to the directions, these will be the back legs. And these, let me make sure I get them in frame here. These 2 pieces with 5 holes toward the top, actually it's 6 holes toward the top, will be the rear pieces. These 2 pieces with 4 holes will be the front pieces. Alright, and then we take 2 stretchers and attach them front to back on each piece. So we'll do that twice. And this is a monster bag of screws and nuts here. There's that. Bring those two guys right there. And I'll just get those finger tight for now. Now, we'll just do the same thing on this opposite side. Remember, we've got this one long leg with 6 pieces, 6 holes in the back, and the front piece is a 4-hole piece. So we will bring this guy over here. This one will go over here. Now, I think to make these two halves up, I'm going to need to set this thing up right, and we'll see if we need to reposition the camera so you can see where we're heading with this. Because if I put this up here, this thing's going to try to fall on me, and that doesn't make too much sense. So we'll go ahead and set this up right. Okay. Just put in a screw there. We can hang on that. And another screw. Just go right on through. And we put our 2 little caps. Okay. And now we just need to do the same thing to this corner over here. And we'll actually have something that starts to look like a box. There we go. Get this other nut started. There. All right. All we've done is we put on those rubber feet at the bottom. That's real simple. We put on the stretchers, the short side stretchers on the 2 frames with a couple of these, couple of the nuts and bolts that come with the little kit on the sides, on both the front and the back. And then we put on the lengthwise stretchers here across the front and just put on a couple of the nuts and bolts on each side. So we already have something representing something vertical. So we're making progress. So we'll keep going. And I just realized I screwed up. Yeah, you can see I screwed up already, not paying attention. I've reversed one side. I've got to reverse these two legs. This tall side with these 6 holes here. Just realized that I've made a mistake. This side right here needs to be the back, but I've taken this piece and put it here, taken that piece and put it there, so I accidentally put it together backwards. So, no big deal. I just need to reverse these 2 legs. So, let me fix that off camera and we'll resume in a moment. As you can see, I have fixed my silly mistake. It's an easy mistake to make. When I made the sides, I should have made sure they were mirror image, not identical. So it's an easy mistake to make. You can see this and not make the same mistake. So we've got the basic 4 posts and the basic structured end. I think the next part is the top. Excuse me, number 6. See the number 6 in these. Now, in any 2 of these kits, you probably can't see. You probably can't see the number 6 there. It's in very little print. But anyway, trust me, that says 6. There. Apply the nuts. Okay. Now we want to make sure when you're mounting this back rail, we want to be level with where this rail goes. This back rail has 6 mounting holes. The front rail has 4. These 2 holes are going to be for the extensions that vertically that will then be where we place the pegboard. So you want to line up with these 2 holes right here. And we'll lock this end up here. Whoops. Okay, so now we have the basic structure in place. Now it's time to do the sides. They're labeled 4 and 4A in the instructions. I don't know if you can see that. This is 4, this is 4A. It has the hole. This has the hole for the power receptacle. Okay. All right, we've got the table upright now, and I moved the camera a little bit so you can kind of see that we actually have this thing in 3 dimensions now as opposed to individual pieces. And what we're going to do now is we're going to put the side rails on. Just took a brief break there. So what we're going to do right now, as we were mentioning just when I cut out, we're going to put the side rails on, the one that receives the power receptacle and the right side and the other side stretcher. Okay, another mistake I've made. Taking a step back for a minute and trying to regroup on what's going on with this, I finally realized a more fundamental mistake in my assembly. The two bottom stretchers I have used to assemble the bottom of this table right here, this one and this one on the right, or my left, excuse me, I identified those incorrectly. Those are identified in the assembly instructions as part number 4. Those are actually part number 12, and they're intended for the very top shelf. So that's why my top is not going together the way it's supposed to. So what I need to do is take out those bottom 2 rails and replace them with the correct rails. No other way to say it. I screwed up. Just didn't follow the instructions properly. So let's get it fixed. With the proper sized rails in place, everything fits the way it's supposed to. The directions all make sense. The parts numbered 4 go here, 4A with a hole in it, and parts 4 go in that bottom rail. We got the other side to attach, and then all we have to do is install the deal. The rest of this should be fairly much downhill. Vertical rails, the top, and the flats. So we'll just keep on pressing on. Okay, we now have the base frame installed correctly after I incorrectly assembled the sides. So now we're ready to go on to the next phase. So we'll take this guy, he'll go on this back bracket right here. Okay. There's 7B in the back, and we'll do 7F. So we'll take this bracket right here. We'll put this on the inside. I think I almost made a mistake again. This has to go like this because of the depth of the drawer. Almost made a mistake. Not quite. Okay. That's on there. Okay, what I just found out I did. I'll bet you a nickel I just broke my bulb. Just broke my light. Right there. Isn't that cute? So I'll have to go get a new light when we finish this. So now we're going to take this center rail and we'll put it into those 2 brackets. Now this is where the drawers are going to slide out, so we'll put that toward the front. Okay, we're going to install 9L and 9R, which are the side rails. They go here and over here. Go ahead and install the side rails on this side. Okay, my back got tired. I'd been bent over so long correcting my stupid mistakes by not following the directions properly that my back got a little bit tired. So clumsy on my part, but we got it fixed. It's been rebuilt. And what I did off camera, just to kind of regroup a little bit, off camera I took a Phillips head screwdriver and tightened down all of the screws and nuts and bolts. So we are now a good rigid frame. What's next in the instructions is to build the 2 drawers, and so I'll show you how to build one of those. And then once we put those in, the only thing that I think is left is to install the top and the bottom, and then the back pegboard hook with top shelf. So let's go ahead and press on. I'm kind of running out of light, so we're going to have to go in the garage light, and hopefully it'll be enough to keep up with the construction as we finish. So we'll press on. Okay, so next step in the instructions, we are on step 12. Actually, we're on, looks like step 10. We're going to put the drawer handle on the front of the drawers, and then we're going to take the drawer bottoms and attach the right and left sides, and repeat that for both drawers, and then insert them. So let's go ahead and get our pieces. So here are our drawer handles right here. Piece number 11 for each drawer, drawer fronts. And then we're going to have 2 drawer bottoms, number 13. Now, this is one thing I will point out on this drawer that I might choose to replace. These are the bottoms of the drawers, and this is nothing more than particle board. Prove it a little bit later, but we'll put those 2 pieces aside. And then, here's two drawer 10Ls, 2 pieces of 10L, 2 pieces 10R. So that's all that. And then we should have, and then front and back drawer panels number 12. These are the number 12 pieces that I inadvertently used to create the sides on the stretchers for the first frame that I messed up. So don't make that mistake. Learn from my mistake. Follow the directions. All right, that should be all the pieces. And of course with relevant nuts and bolts. And that's where here's a front drawer panel. And we're going to put a handle on it just like that. There we go. Repeat that for the second drawer panel. I'm just going to go ahead and build one, and then I'll build the other one off camera. Lay bottom drawer 13. We're going to do panels left and R, 10L. Here's 10L. And here's 10R. There. Okay, what I've done, I'll show you what I've done. Just lined up the right hand side. This is piece 10R with the front of the drawer, and then I just put in 2 screws from bag B, the original that I've used on the rest of it, and I've just got those finger tight, and as soon as I get the rest of the drawer assembled, I'll tighten those guys down. And take piece 12 and put that on the back. And that will be our drawer. There's that. Okay, there's that. That's done, and we just put our See, I would just bumped this thing and it's already torn up, this wood. And I guess I should have put this around as I was building it, but I didn't. So that's on me. But still, this is not good material for a bottom of the drawer. It just isn't. There. That's in. So let's go slide it in place. And we will just slide it in. Well, folks, that couldn't go in any nicer. That's it. That's in. Okay, after a brief break, we got called away doing some other things and had some supper. We're going to see if we can go ahead and press on and get this table finished. All we've got to do now is, we're looking at the back of the table. All we have to do is put on the 3 risers that serve as the backboard for the pegboard and the top shelf, and then install the plug and then the top plate and the bottom plate. So let's go ahead and see what we can do to get started. Our 2 parts 15 and 16B. And these, by all appearances, are symmetrical, so they should not matter which order you put them in. The side. And now we will just put the other screw on the other side. On this top rail now. This is the part 16B for back. Oh, my camera fell. Oh no, we're just out this in. We're good. Okay, I'm going to get 1 screw started so I can get this other in, and then I'm just going to go down here and do the same thing to the other side. This is 17LR, so it does not matter which one. Now I just need to install these 2 nuts. Okay. And do the same thing to the other side. Okay, did a little bit of checking. First of all, I'm running short of the screws that are in what the instructions were to as package B. I'm running out of these simple nuts that attach most of the metal pieces together. I did find out that I had to go farther ahead of the instructions to realize they were not specific on how you attach this back rail, part 16B, to these vertical posts. So, in keeping with the pattern of everything else, I assumed that it was 1 screw or 2 screws in each corner, but that's not the case. One of the holes is reserved for the pegboard, so I can take one of these screws out on each side. I'm getting ready to put this front piece on the. This is part 16F. See this right here? You can focus in, but that says 16F. It's upside down, but this is the front rail. Now notice that this piece is formed 90 degrees such that the screws have to go in the side. However, in the instructions, they show you on this very step, and I may clip this out and make a better copy of it for the video, that they expect the screws to go through the front. Well, that's not possible. Now, I thought about the possibility that I used the wrong part, and I've double checked. This is the correct rear part because it has the screw holes for the pegboard. This does not. So this is the correct piece. These instructions really, in this case, don't match the piece. So what I'm going to do is, since I still only have 2 screws and I need to have 4, I'm just going to have to improvise. I'm going to put in these 2 screws, 1 on each side, to at least get the front piece secured, such that I can progress with getting this thing put together. Okay, we're in luck. I happened to find a couple of machine screws among my spray parts that I believe will be more than adequate to secure this. So they're not exactly what the doctor ordered, and they look a little ugly, but I'm more concerned about getting it built than the aesthetics of it. So I'm not trying to win a beauty contest. I'm going to get the thing put together. Okay, I've got the pegboard out of the box. And we're going to line that up. It's not very snug. There we go. So the holes do not line up just by sitting the board. This corner. Now what I would suggest, rather than trying to bring it up in individual sections, what I would do, I would go to the opposite corner first. We'll go down there and try to zoom in just a touch so you can see where I'm working. Now again, just setting the pegboard level with the base doesn't line up the holes. You got to lift it up just a little bit. And also, there is just a tiny bit of interference with some of the screws, but not too bad. So you may have to wrestle with it a little bit. There, plug that screw right through there. Now the beauty of lining up the corners is that now all the other pieces should line up. And I would also advise that when you go to tighten these down, I wouldn't get real aggressive tightening down this pegboard because you're liable to crush it. It really is that thin. There we go. I'm going to put in one here and one here. I put a screw right here in this lower section, and now I'll come over here to the corners, here and 2 there. Okay. And now we'll go over to the far. Now this part is a little scratched. Fortunately, these pieces are symmetric. So I'm just going to flip this over and use this top side. Not that it really matters because the camera out of range. I'm sorry guys. I just put this piece on the very top of this top shelf portion of the bench, and I've dropped 6 screws from the D package here, here, and here. Snarky. I think what I'll do here's a bit broader look at the workbench. It's starting to look like a workbench for a change. The one thing that I did notice that we were about to overlook was that I did not install the power strip. There's a power strip that goes in the side right here, and it was a step I simply overlooked when I was rebuilding the bottom from my prior errors. So okay, so here is here's the power strip, and the way this is recessed, this is raised just a little bit, and when you run it against that opening, it kind of slides right into place, and it has two little clamps. All right. So we took this little clamp. It goes around here, and then there's a little corresponding mating screw hole inside the rail, but they don't match up. They don't go flush. So you put this screw in, and then a couple of threads bite into the hole on the opposite side. Let me go around this side and see if I have a better bite at it. There, I see it now. Part 20F. That's a little scratched up. And that's just a little dusty, so we'll use this side. We'll give into a little bit of vanity. And that fits in there like that. So one thing that you may not be able to tell, when you put this in here, it fits like a glove into the corners of this railing, and that's kind of a nice little design feature. They purposely designed these legs to go over the top rail just enough to give you a good square fit for the top. One here. And of course the last one would be just a little bit off. Now, I'll tell you right now, getting these screws in with the drawers in is a challenge. There we go. Just need to get it coaxed. There we go. Okay. And we are down to the last piece. Look at there. Okay, is this light fixture. This light fixture goes up under here, which is all well and good, except for the fact that when as I showed earlier in the video, this was packaged up in a nondescript cardboard box without any notice or warning that it was fragile, and it was stuck inside the drawer divider. So I pulled it out, and it wasn't until I heard this terrible crunch that I realized I broke it. If it shows up there in the video, that bulb is ruined. So no good, it doesn't do me any good to install the bulb, the light fixture tonight, because it's not going to light up. So I'm going to get a replacement bulb for that. And I believe I used the incorrect screws on the drawer handles. These screws are a little bit longer, and they belong down there. Putting these together, I thought that these handles, the drawer screws, looked a little bit long. It's a little hard to tell because of the shadow. But these screws are really, really long, and I thought I had the right package. I think I just grabbed it from the wrong package. So what I'm going to do, and there's no point in showing that in detail on camera, I'll take those screws out, replace them with the correct screws, and then I'll put those longer screws in the base. And putting those screws in the base and putting the nuts on it is just like doing the ones on the top. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to call it a night. My back is starting to wear out on me a little bit, but there's kind of the almost finished product, short of a fixed replacement light bulb, fluorescent light bulb. I believe it's a T6. I'll double check in the manual, but I think it looks really good. I think it's for 80 bucks. I think it's a perfectly reasonable value. It's a good metal structure, most of it. The top and the shelves are hardwood. You're not gonna rebuild an engine on it, but then that's not what it's designed for. It's just a nice general utility workbench. What I'll do is we're gonna call it good for tonight. And what I will do, as soon as I get a replacement bulb and get the light fixture installed, I'll put it in my final position over here. I've got some other debris I've got to move. I intended to move because I didn't think the assembly would take this long. And understand too, the only reason the assembly took as long as it did is my own fault. I misread the instructions and didn't assemble it correctly, so it took me longer to disassemble it and juggle all the pieces. So that was my fault. So I think this is a great value. I think this is going to be exactly what I need. And through the magic of video, I'll cut to another shot of this in its final location with the light on and showing all the things that it's going to be used for in my garage. Well, it is now 3 days later since I finished building the workbench and thought I had a good replacement bulb for this one that broke. But it turns out that the bulb I bought at Lowe's was not the right length, and none of the local big box stores or light stores sold the proper bulb to replace this. I had to go to a light company out of Missouri that had the correct replacement bulb, and that's what I've got to replace right now. So this is going to be a matter of just replacing this plastic cover, sliding in the new bulb, and then we'll be able to put it into the workbench and finish it off. There we go. There is the old bulb gone. And now we'll just put the new bulb in here like so, I think. Oh, I see how this works. You align these little tabs vertically. And then, once these tabs are aligned, you slide this like into that, like that, and then rotate it. There, locked in. And that should fix it. Matter of fact, let's go get a plug and test it. Okay, so we have now plugged the light in. We will turn it on. Yay, we have a light. So we have replaced the bulb, and all we got to do now is install it in the workbench. Okay folks, now that we've got the light replacement, the light bulb replaced and the light fixture, we're going to go ahead and install it on the workbench and put this thing to bed. One thing we'll show you right here is there are some hard to see little starter holes right there and right there where you put the screws for these little brackets. So what you'll do is you'll put the screw, if I can get this right, you can put the screw through that bracket and then you'll snap the light fixture into the bracket. So let's go ahead and do that. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Oops, tipped it over. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. I ended up having to get a small drill bit and pre-drill those holes, or re-drill those holes to get it big enough to fit that screw. I did that, and then both of the screws went in very easily, and now the clips are up. So all we have to do now is simply snap in the light. There's that. You don't want to force this in or you'll break the bulb again like I did. There, we got it. All right. Plug in the light. And for right now, I'm going to have to plug it into the side port here because I don't have room. The cord is only about 3 feet long. And we will turn it on. There it is. I temporarily plugged it in there. But folks, there's the finished product. That's the finished product of the Harbor Freight 48-inch workbench with work light. It is reasonably simple to install. You got to follow the directions because you have a lot of pieces that are similar size, but they're not exactly the same size. You put it together wrong, it is unforgiving if you mess it up. Be very careful when you are putting the light, unpackaging the light. It's a hard bulb to find. Most of the big box stores here in town do not carry it. And understand that you've got a fairly short length light, so you can thread the cord here through the hole, and that will give you a little bit more distance, but I didn't have the room. So I temporarily plugged it in to the power plug, and I'm going to get a small power strip that will plug in here that I can put across the back so I can plug in multiple items. But that's it. I am very pleased with this bench. I think it looks great. I don't know that I'm going to keep all my jack stands up there permanently, but for now, it got everything out of the way. And I think this would be a great addition to my garage. I think it was a perfectly super little project, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye-bye.